Good evening. My name is Jharol Aguirre, and I am a junior at the Expeditionary Learning School for Community Leaders. My role is to launch our pledge drive. How? By telling you a story. Through it, I hope you will see the value of the organization we are all here to support. I was born in the beautiful Central American country that is Honduras. The memories I have of my village are good ones. We were a small village in a fascinating land where neighbors knew their neighbors. The whole town had a family vibe that was based on love and community, not on blood. The year was 2005, and change was on its way. People were beginning to whisper in one another's homes. Money had gotten tight, and organized crime waited just around the corner. My father left first. I was too young, just 7, to understand why. And then one morning, with the smell of eucalyptus in the air, my mother woke me up and told me it was time to leave. Our journey was a long one. We walked miles and miles. We were transferred into cars, then we came to a river, climbed onto a raft, and crossed it. We walked more, and onward we went. But I never suffered. I was always on someone's back or shoulders. Our fellow migrants surrounded and protected me at all times. I knew they would have given their lives so that I might live. After one deportation and one detainment, we finally arrived to the golden city of New York. I hated it. Everywhere I looked, I found a stranger. Instead of a neighborhood, there was a system. My school was so different. The teachers taught, but if a tear ran down my cheek, no hands were reached to brush them away. I fell through the cracks, as the saying goes. By my sophomore year, I was no longer Harold, just a silhouette of my former self, completely disconnected from the idea of school and learning. In small traditional communities, but then I found my school, Leaders, which I now call the hidden gem of Brooklyn. Inside, I discovered a community that was actively recreating the kind of social bonds my family and I had lost. In small traditional communities like my village, these bonds are formed naturally. But in a city like New York, you have to consciously create structures and rituals that form them. You have to be consistent and committed in implanting them. There are very few schools that do this well, but NYC Outward Bound schools excel at this. When I imagine my school as a person, I imagine her standing tall and giving advice instead of orders. I imagine her working behind the scenes to help others do the right thing. She emphasizes that true learning is not just about classes, homework, and tests. It's about real-world applications that help real people and communities with real problems. On the other hand, when I imagine Outward Bound as a person, I imagine him as an elderly individual who throughout his long life has been courageous and kind. He gives to others skills and knowledge. He pushes them out of their comfort zone in order to help them achieve their goals. He enlightens us with his wise words because he has traversed so many of life's mountains already. I like to remind people that Outward Bound was born out of war. The founder, Kurt Hahn, developed Outward Bound as a way to give young people purpose during the despair of World War II. Through it, they began to help rebuild their continent, communities, and their own lives. We still live in a war-torn world. And I don't just mean the Middle East or in my beloved homeland of Honduras. We have all seen the news from Ferguson, from Baltimore, from our own New York City. And what we need are more schools like mine, which help students like me discover for ourselves that our own lives matter and that our communities and world need us. To me, this is why you should donate to our pledge drive. In the next 15 minutes, we hope to raise $40,000. It costs $700 a year to provide full services to a student like me, or $7,000 to support a crew of 10 students. If you can only afford a small gift, that works too. 7 gifts of $100 support 1 student. You can donate using your mobile device. Open the text we just sent you. Or hit the donate button on the home screen. If you prefer to bid the old-fashioned way, there are donation cards on the table that you can turn in at checkout or to our staff. If you're confused, mobile bidding directions are in your booklet. And you can also ask one of our circulating staff for help. I'll check back with you in 10 minutes.